There's nothing like cracking that cellophane, pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
This is Mark Menghi from BPMD and Middle Allegiance, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father. As always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a very huge privilege to have Mr. Mark Menghi. He's the bassist of Metal Allegiance and BPMD. Of course, BPMD is Blitz, Portnoy, Menghi, and Dimmel, a.k.a. BPMD, of course. Will release their upcoming debut full-length album, American Made, on June 12th via Napalm Records. The 10-track pays homage to some of rock music's greatest songs. Also, check out BPMD's current single and re-energized cover of blues standard song Evil, and check out their cover of Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic. And if you have not got to check these out, then do yourself a favor and do so. So, Mark, man, how's it going?
Hey, man, how are you?
Doing awesome. So, welcome to the show, and let's jump right into this bad boy.
Thanks, dude. Sure.
How's it been working with Napalm Records so far?
Oh, they're awesome. Love it. Yeah, they're really good. They've been doing a phenomenal job. Absolutely phenomenal job. This
concept of the band came together the night you were listening to Leonard Skinner's Saturday Night Special. And
yeah.
And this is crazy now. Each of you picked two 70s rock tracks, and everyone had to learn them. So let's talk about that a little bit. What did you think everybody was going to bring to the table for these songs that they were going to pick?
Well, I wasn't expecting Glorious to Cult, I'll tell you that. But it was awesome. I'm glad. There were challenges. We had to do whatever the other person picked. So, Phil Demmel suggested Van Halen and DOA and Tattoo Vampire by Glorious to Cult, and you had to do them. There was no arguing. That was one of the rules. And when I first listened to Tattoo Vampire, first off, I've never even heard the song before. So that presented a challenge. And then the second thing, after I listened to the song, I was like, oh boy, what are we going to do to this? The original version. But, Phil had a vision, and it's one of my favorite songs on the record now.
When this was coming together, what was you thinking of what you guys wanted to do when you put BPMD together?
Well, it was just to have fun. It was nothing more than that. We didn't have a record label when we started. We didn't have a record label when we finished. We self-financed it. We paid out of our own pockets to get it mixed and mastered. We paid for the artwork. We did it all ourselves, and we didn't want any pressure, and it was just four guys having fun. That's really all it was. So that's the mindset of this record.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making this album, American Made, if anything? What sticks out the most for you?
It's just fun. It was fun to do. Because it was all out of our elements. Maybe not so much Portnoy, because he's all over the map. But for at least Blitz, myself, and Phil, it was out of our element. And if we look at Overkill's history, they're 20 records deep right now.
Oh yeah.
They're one of the founders of thrash metal. And Blitz rarely does side projects. I mean, it's rare when you see him tap his feet into anything else. So it was cool to work with him like that. And, him and I hit it off. We co-wrote a song together for the last MA record, and we just had an instant chemistry. So, and same thing with Phil. He's my stage right partner in crime when we do MA live shows. So there's just a chemistry between us. And when we got together at Mike's house, it was instant. Mike recorded all of his drum tracks in one day. In that one day, we were at Mike's because we were all jamming live, having fun, and Mike happened to hit record. And so the drum tracks you hear on this record are from that one day we got together of him jamming live to us. So it was fun, man. There was no pressure, and it was just fun. It was as simple as that.
So it's just like kind of lightning in a bottle in some way.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I know we touched on this just a little bit just a minute ago, but are there any tracks standing out more to you or maybe kind of surprised you? Certain songs were picked to be on this album, possibly?
Well, Tattoo Vampire surprised me. I was not expecting that outcome at all, and I love it. You know, we turned it into what we do. That song. There's only one way we know how to transform something is you speed it up and you make it thrash. So that was a good surprise. And the rest of the songs, Saturday Night Special was the catalyst for this whole thing, and I had that vision for what you hear on record is what I heard in my head when we started this whole thing. The way those guitars are chunking, the way the drums are going, the structure. That's basically pretty close to what I heard that summer night last year when I was like, oh wow, this could be kind of cool. So we transformed it that way, and it was just seeing everyone's visions come to fruition.
I'm a Southern guy, and I'm not saying it's just because I'm a Southern guy, because I don't like a whole lot of that stuff, But I love how Leonard Skinner's Saturday Night Special just flows. It's just certain thing about it, man. It's just a great flowing song, if that makes sense.
Yeah, agreed. It definitely, and Blitz's vocals really tie it together. Mm-hmm. The way he's delivering his vocals and his vocal approach. You could hear the story he's telling of those Ronnie Van Zant lyrics. It's funny when I heard the finished mix of our version, I was like, wow, I understand what the song is now, vocally and lyrically, more so lyrically. I knew it was an anti-gun song or this and that, whatever. Saturday Night Special was telling a story about, getting shot up on a Saturday night and, this, that, and the other thing. But it never really clicked to me. And Blitz brought that together for me as far as the lyrical message behind it. No, on the flip side of things, we have Ted Nugent, who's Mr. Pro Gun. So,
That's true.
And this record's not a political-based record. It's just about the music. And I saw some people commenting on us covering Nugent. And again, when you're talking about 1970s rock, Ted Nugent was right in the middle of that, if not at the forefront of it. So
yeah.
It's about the music, and this record has absolutely nothing to do with politics. The four of us actually all share different political views, so which is great. And we don't talk about it, we don't discuss it, and even when picking these records, it was not about the politics. It was about the music, and Wang Dang actually turned out to be one of my favorite songs on the record. And that was a Blitz pick just because you could hear the fun, you could hear the excitement we're having, and you could hear what we're all doing on our instruments, the energy behind it, and it's a good way to start the record off.
And I'm a sucker for covers. I love seeing bands do other bands' music. I like that. To me, just like this album is, it's paying homage. You know, I think that any band that covers someone else, oh, yeah, they're just trying to make it better. No, they're paying homage to that band, in my opinion.
And that's all this is us having fun, paying homage to the great 70s rock of America, And when I called Blitz that night, when I said, hey, man, I have this idea with Saturday Night Special, before I even finished, he's like, I'm in and I want to do Mountain and Cactus. And just because this is what we love, man. And it's paying tribute to these guys. And it's nothing more. We're not trying to make anything better. It's never going to be better than the original. Let's just clear that up. The original is a classic, and we're paying tribute to that because it's so good and because it's perfect the way it is. We're just giving our interpretation because it's fun. It's and that's what music is, man.
That's like when Metallica covered Bob Seger's "Turn the Page." Everybody's like, "Oh, they killed it." No, they didn't. I think they gave it a heavier tone to it and made it fucking better.
Let me tell you something, man. One of my interviews yesterday, they were asking about covers and, kind of a similar question. And I mentioned Metallica. I was like, listen, that first Garage Days record of the 80s and then the second Garage Days record in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Those records opened me up to dig into those original versions and those catalogs. Mm-hmm. Because of Metallica, I heard of Bob Seger before in the 90s. But I never really dug into the catalog, and I was like, "Oh, let me check out what they had. What is Bob Seger?" And it was like, "Oh man, Silver Bullet Band," and I just it opened me up, and not just to them. They opened me up to bands like Merciful Fate. They opened up me to a lot of bands, and what I'm finding with this record, a lot of Europeans especially, they never heard of the James Gang. They never heard of Cactus. So they think it's actually original music. And it's like, no. I was like, and I tell everybody, listen to the James Gang, listen to Cactus, go dive into these records. It's amazing music, and they're criminally underrated. So it's nice, and I hope that we get to open people up to these original artists and their catalogs.
Yeah, especially listen to some Grand Funk Railroad, man. Come on, guys.
I know, exactly. And, it's funny with Skinnerd. Everyone knows Sweet Home Alabama and Freebird. Those songs come on, I skip them, just because they're great songs, obviously, but they have so much more music. If you listen to, the Street Survivors record, or Nuttin' Fancy, or Second Helpin', and you dig past those hits, the songs are phenomenal. I mean, they are straight up, killer tunes. Mm-hmm. And that's the point, is to try to get people to hear this other music, outside of the hits. And that's why Phil and subconsciously picked Tattoo Vampire from Voice the Cult. It would have been obvious. Can we do Don't Fear the Reaper? Sure. Another reason why we didn't do Kiss. It would be expected of us to do Kiss. They're an American 70s band, of course, and we all love them, but it's expected, and we were trying not to do the expected.
Give Me Back My Bullets, underrated song.
Love that. Absolutely love that song. And that was actually on my list.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, that was on my list, man. And working, I wanted to do Working for MCA, but changed the lyrics around a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually pitched these lyrics to Blitz, where I took the MCA out and I put in another record label's initials that fit perfectly. And but Blitz didn't want to go there.
That's awesome. Stories, folks. This is what it's made about. Oh, man. Was it hard to choose between these current set of songs? Which one would be the first single you guys wanted to release for American Made?
I could tell you one thing. The four of us agreed it shouldn't be Toys in the Attic.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm glad it is now, but I feel that there's some songs on this record that haven't been heard yet to the public that blow away Toys and even Evil. And, I think, we all wanted American Band to be the first single. We love our version of that. It's, it's ripping. So that'll be coming. And that will be the third single coming out right around release time, or a few days before release. And, I love the way some of these tunes came out. I think Beer Drinkers is what a thrash band sounds like if they try to become a jam band like the Allman Brothers. I love the way that came out. So I'm really happy with the record. Normally, I wish I could go back and redo things on some of my past records. But, to this point, when I listen to it, I'm still excited by it. And I love the job Mark Lewis did in the mix to kind of take what we did, and just give it a little bit of a modern push with the mix.
Mark, is this what we're going to see on down the road from you guys, or can we see some of your own music being created for you guys?
I'm a never say never guy. I don't know. I mean, we do have plans to do more with BPMD. We're so much great music came out of England in the 70s, and some of my favorite bands. It was like, oh man, let's do Made in the UK. Let's do Made in the UK in the 70s, or Made in Europe. There's so much music that we could have fun with, and as long as we keep the eye on the fun part and make it about that, just having fun. We're going to do more, and we'll see what it is, though. Obviously, right now we're in especially here where I live in New York, it's, I'm in a death trap of Coronaville, so it's, who knows what's going to happen, and traveling and shows of this, that, and the other thing. But, once this clears up, we're going to get together and do some more.
Now, you guys produced this album, American Made. Is this something that you guys are more comfortable with? Because I know you guys do your own recordings a lot, but let's talk about that a little bit. Why you guys just did it yourself instead of getting a producer, possibly?
The four of us are pretty seasoned at what we do. I produced the last two Metal Allegiance records. I'm comfortable on hearing what I'm hearing and visions, and we all had our visions for these songs. So in actuality, we produced the songs because we said this is how we want the parts. Or if Phil came in and said this is how I want to do Tattoo Vampire, pick up the tempo here, let's drop that. He was producing that song, just like I produced Saturday Night Special, just like Portnoy produced Wang Dang. It was just we all had our vision. So to bring in a fifth person to try to capture what we were hearing in these songs would have not worked. Even with MA, when we write, it's, when you're dealing with so many different musicians and you have a person or two who has these visions for these songs, it's hard to bring somebody in because, they'll be button heads or they might not be sharing the same vision as you.
Sure, yeah.
So it's, right now, not to say that we won't ever, again, never say never, but when I was sitting in my backyard listening to Saturday Night Special and I had this certain vision in my mind, to have a fifth person come in and go, no, I don't like that, you should do it this way, that takes away from the creative element. And the only reason why we're here talking is because of that vision I had. And I couldn't imagine it going any other way.
And I'm so damn glad you guys put this out. I really am.
I appreciate that.
This beautiful artwork was created by renowned artist Marcella Vasco, who's done work with Slayer, Metal. You guys, of course, are Metal Allegiance, Soulfly, and Hatebreed. How is working with him on this? And did he see exactly what you guys wanted?
Dude, he nailed it.
He
freaking nailed it. When I love working with him. I met him before the MA2 cycle. And I remember reaching out to Gerardo at Nuclear Blast, and I go, who the hell did the Slayer Repentless artwork? I love it. And he's like, oh, this dude Marcelo, he's done Machine Head, Hatebreed, he's done so many different bands. And I loved the Slayer cover, not because of, there's all the devilish Jesus, the upside down crosses. It was the subliminal stuff going on around that cover and the detail behind it. So I was like, can you put me in touch with him? And he did. And I was like, hey, man, big fan of your work. Love your cover. He loved MA. And I was like, hey, man, would you want to do our MA2 record cover? This is Division. And if you look at the Metal Allegiance Volume 2 Power Drunk Majesty cover, I told him what I was thinking, the vision behind it, the subliminal. There's a lot of subliminal messages on that cover and this and that. And his first time around is what you see. It was like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. And it's that record cover is highly detailed, the MA2 cover. So with this one, and then since that, he's done some poster artwork for MA. He's done some show posters, tour posters, various other pieces of MA artwork. And, he just always nails it. I never had to worry and go, oh, shit. Where I had to do that with a lot of other artists in the past, where it's just not really, he's not getting what I'm thinking or whatnot. Marcelo, it's always one pass, it's done. So when it came to this, I told the guys, Mike obviously knew Marcelo because of MA, and I told Bobby, I was like, listen, I got the perfect artist for this. He'll nail it, trust me. And so we told him the vision. It was like, we want a vintage 70s style cover, but updated, kind of thrashy, American flag, just think 70s, think vintage, but make it edgy, make it thrashy and edgy, but vintage. And what you see is what he came back with in one pass. I was like, whoa, and done, yeah, he killed it.
Now, when all these songs were coming in that you guys are choosing, did it make you guys reminisce on when you were growing up and listening to these songs? Did it take you guys back to when you first were getting into music real heavy?
For me, I went backwards, and I'm the youngest in this bunch, and throughout my years, I've always went backwards. It wasn't until the last. Obviously, I've heard all these bands before my entire life, but it wasn't until the last 10 or so years where I would really dig into the catalogs. Obviously, thrash metal is what I've done. It's what I've written and whatnot. But to dig into catalogs like the James Gang or even the ZZ Top catalog, Cactus catalog, Mountain, et cetera, I dug deep, and as Butch says, I'm a student of the 70s. I still am, and I'm still finding new music and going backwards into time. And that's what I find myself listening to more so than anything these days. when I wake up in the morning, I'm not putting on Bonded by Blood anymore. I'm not putting on Rain and Blood. I'll put on a George Harrison record or a James Gang record or a Queen record. That's kind of where I find myself listening to these days. But as the day goes on and I need a kick, that's when Bonded comes on, or Testament or Possessed or something along those lines. And I find myself back to where it all began for me. But this music is. I'm still discovering music from the 70s, which is fun, and that's the best part about music.
I'm a metal guy and a horror punk guy, and you cannot go wrong with Queen music. Cannot, man.
No, it's that you got to be diverse, man.
Yeah,
it's key, and I listen to blues. I love blues. I love all kinds of music, and I'm listening to any given day. It's I'll be listening to Muddy Waters 1 minute and then, Possessed the next minute. So it's just being diverse and appreciating music.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or a message you hope they hear while listening to any of BPMD's music in general? I know you said fun, but what is there anything else you want them to take away from all this?
Well, especially now, I think this record's coming out at a good time, just with everything going on in this country right now. It's a mess, and I just hope that people listen to this and kind of escape from reality and just go into the backyard, crack open a beer, crank the tunes, and just kind of forget about the outside world. That's my hope for it. Right now it's just it's good old rockin' tunes, man, and I think the world is missing that right now.
I agree. There's so much stuff that's going on right now, and it's God, you got these riots now going on. I mean, there's so much stuff. It's just insane. And we go from one thing to something else, and it blows my mind. It's like, chill the fuck out, people.
Dude, for the last, 2-3 months with this, especially here in New York, we're locked in, quarantined.
Oh, yeah.
Due to this coronavirus, and now there's these riots going on in Minnesota. It's just like, it's just like this country it's divided. It's completely divided, and it's not good, man. And, that's why, I have my views towards everything, which I do not share publicly, but I know one thing, people need to calm the fuck down. It's everyone needs to take just kind of take a step back, breathe for a minute, and just, it's not good, man. It's, and it's not good to be angry, and it's not good to be filled with hate. And everyone just needs to take a step back and enjoy life for a minute, not just filled with piss and vinegar and hate, man, and way too much of that shit going on.
What can fans expect at a show from you guys when this gets to go out on tour? When you take it out on tour, man? Well,
we're never gonna officially tour. This is not going to be a touring band, but we are going to do festivals and specialty shows and things of that nature. We're definitely going to play live. But to tour full on, we just have so much other stuff going on. And again, this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be a fun record. 4 dudes having fun. But we will be playing shows. Tomorrow was supposed to be our first gig in Jersey for a benefit show for the Old Bridge Metal Militia, which sucks that got canceled because of all the virus shit going on. So once the concert doors start opening up, we're definitely going to play some gigs for sure.
Mark, what was it that made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you, possibly, if you recall, maybe?
In mid-'90s, watching Metallica play at the Nassau Coliseum, seeing their energy, I was like, whoa, I like that. That looks fun. And Cliff Burton, just music has always caught my attention. It's just, Metallica had a big role in that for me. Just there's something about them for me, watching them live or listening to them, where it's just like, man, this is just the energy. It's just that energy. And that's kind of, I remember that concert at Nassau Coliseum in New York. Just going, I walked out of that building, and it wasn't the greatest hour. It was on a low tour, I think. It was Corrosion of Conformity was opening up. But again, I ignore all that stuff. It was just watching it for what it is, not for the past or what you wanted it to be. And that's what got me.
Since almost everyone is in quarantine and some's getting out now from the coronavirus and all this pandemic, do you think concerts and festivals will have the same impact as before with sales and attendance, or do you think this has really hurt it, Mark? And because I know we're going to have to make some changes once everything is totally back open again.
I think there's definitely going to be a serious impact in the future and for quite a while. But on the flip side of things, this country is pretty damn resilient, man. And from West Coast to East Coast, we're all pretty stubborn in our ways, and which is a good thing. And we want live music, so we will find a way to bounce back from it for sure. It's just, we're going to have to do things differently, and we're going to have to learn how to do that. Life as we knew it has forever changed, and whether we accept that or not, or like it or not, there's really nothing we could do about it. You just got to be creative and do things differently, which is probably not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Especially the way this shit's going now. Now, if you ask me if I'm going to go to Madison Square Garden wearing a mask, I'm not doing that. Yeah. If I have to and I'm forced to see a band, then so be it. I will. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? But I do know that we're resilient and we will bounce back from this.
Yeah, I saw where baseball was trying to come back with a lower schedule and wanting the guys to take pay cuts, and I was just like, just don't do it. Just screw it. Be done with it. I mean, 80-some games, it's not worth it to me.
Baseball, yeah, I'm a big sports fan, and I think that there is going to be no baseball season this year.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that 1,000%. I would see football, NFL coming back, and college football, but
and again, that's my sport, football, and the thought of no football in the fall, man, it hurts.
Oh yeah,
but we'll see what happens if how they're going to handle the season between college and NFL, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm hoping they figure out something.
Now, I know you guys are well known throughout the music industry, music world, but with these releases that you guys have put out so far, is there a country that stands out or shocks you that, has picked up on BPMD's music and gave it support so far, possibly?
Europe, I'm shocked, especially like France, Germany. France has been a big supporter, which Europe in general, the amount of European press we've done it's amazing. Even Blitz and I were commenting, we haven't done that much European press, I don't think, ever. Especially Blitz, and they picked up on it. And again, I think this record's hitting at the right time, just because, look at the state Europe was in with coronavirus. They had it a lot worse than us.
Oh, yeah.
And I just think it's people need an escape. And if they heard Toys in the Attic or whatnot, or they see these four dudes coming together having fun just creating this music, I think it's enticing to these people. And so Europe, the entire European region, it just shocked me to see the pickup over there.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up BPMD's debut full-length album, American Made. It comes out on June 12th via Napalm Records. You will not be disappointed, and trust me, these tracks are pretty badass with their interpretation of these songs, so please check them out. So, Mark, man, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, this album, and whatever else you guys got going on? How can they do that, good sir?
Yeah, you could bpmdmusic.com, and you can follow us on all social platforms at BPMD Official.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show, good sir?
Sure, no problem. This is Mark Menghi from BPMD and Middle Allegiance, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and every platform link that we're associated with. And trust me, we're all over the place. It's like we're crazy. We're crazy with all this stuff. Also, get out and check out BPMD's debut full-length album, American Made. Pick this up. Check out their singles, Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic, and plus the cover of Blues standard song, Evil. You will not be disappointed, Mark. Man, as always, I wish every one of you guys nothing but the best of luck.
Hey, man, I appreciate the support.
before we end this program, I would just like to say I want to thank all the first responders, every single person that's out there fighting this coronavirus, and everybody who's in this with all of us. So prayers for everybody. Stay safe, and we love each and single one of you guys.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.